So many people are not aware of this OTT kind of cyber crimes, and as you said, that 650 rupees. So I'm going to share, you know, Hum Panch and all these groups are going to be formed, and then people are going to share the subscription. So you were talking about something about sign up, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the thing is that in the sign up now, platforms like Amazon or Netflix or Hotstar are pretty renowned and are giants. But the thing is that when you sign up and when you just check that dialog box which states I have read all terms and conditions. So my humble request is you should always have a habit of sparing 15 minutes of your life and just reading all those terms and conditions, because the reason is that many of the OTT platforms states about sharing of details. Now what details are being shared, how your data is going to be utilized, to whom those OTT platforms are going to share your data with. So this kind of information you should be aware of, and these giants have taken care of everything. Like they generally have a tendency to validate the third party service provider to whom they're selling your data. So,
Oh.
but the problem arises in those OTT platforms where they are not renowned as like these giants, but they happen to sell your data to some third party whose background verification also hasn't been performed yet. So in that cases, the data which has been provided, that poses a risk. And how can they utilize those data is by selling to some other vendors who will apparently send ads to you. And then you might have seen on Android devices especially, you tend to get a small pop-up window at the bottom of the screen. If
Yeah.
you might have
Yes.
observed
Yes.
in the Android mobile, when you use a Chrome browser or you play any games, there's a small dialog box which appears of a particular adware. So that advert is nothing but a bloatware. That entire theme is called as a bloatware, and how they categorize the ad into it is based on your search activities or your cookies, stored cookies, caches. In fact, you might have observed, you have say for example, you're talking of something, or you are searching of something or brand state in generic, and eventually you observe that the same product ads start shooting on your social media platforms and on Instagram. Say for
Yes.
example,
Yes. Yes.
if you type how to take care of hair, and automatically hair oil ads started shooting
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
flaring
Yeah.
up on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever you might search of. Same replica adverts have been transferred. Now how this entire scenario works, this entire scenario works on the policies which we eventually explicitly, means in law language, you explicitly accept to those conditions, and that's where you cannot victimize yourself stating ki my data is being used without my permission. No technical giant does that. It always gives and takes your explicit permission. You tend to sign it up without reading it. That's your fault, not the technical or the IT firm's fault. Means you cannot put Facebook and claim that Facebook has taken my data. No, while signing up, it was you who had I signed to all terms and conditions of Facebook. Now Facebook eventually takes hold of your contacts, can access your location, has access to your all web history searches, IP address, camera, microphone, speaker. It can listen to any kind of things, whatever is happening in your room. It can just go through your contacts, what numbers are saved, through your gallery access, everything you just provide. So now all these permissions you yourself have provided. And yes, in the end, Facebook states that they are going to use the data for the training and quality purpose to improve their user interface with you. And that's how Facebook eventually takes data, whatever you type on your Chrome browser. And
Oh.
that's where the data transfer takes place. Now Facebook takes those keywords, provides these keywords to advert agencies like Google AdSense, Facebook ads and stuff. And say, for example, if I am the digital marketing firm of a particular brand, say, for example, now you're searching for how to take care of hair, and I am into a particular hair oil product. So while targeting my ad, your entry becomes the identifier and hit list for my ad. And that's how the ads flare to your account. So these all things happen at a very sophisticated level when I'm talking of recognized and renowned brands and platforms.
Okay.
But my major concern is, keep apart this, and I'm talking of the new emerging OTT platforms which you tend to sign up. Always have a check on the policies which they're stating, with whom they are going to share your data or the content with.
Yes,
And my
absolutely.
always firm suggestion when it comes to a particular OTT platform, especially, you always have two features. One is sign in via Gmail or Facebook, and other is the sign up feature. So most of the lazy audience, what they prefer is the option of signing in. Oh, I could see a pretty innocent smile on your face, Rohan. So they happen to have sign in option rather than sign up option. Like, who's going to sign up? The name, the last name, the email ID. Exactly. So that's where the legends comes into picture. So who happen to share easy access? Take my account. It's all yours. So you should always have this habit to not sign in on any OTT platform, rather than create a separate email for your entertainment only and attach and sign up rather than signing in. Have a habit of signing up to that particular OTT platform, so that indirectly you happen to safeguard your own privacy. Now, I'm not talking of these giants. Yeah, for them also, if you take this consideration, it is going to protect your privacy. I'm talking of the new emerging OTT platforms to which you eventually tend to give up so much of data. So rather than doing this, always have a compartmentalization of your profile, what we call it as online profile. And another, now you won't imagine, I have one hypothetical profile called as Brahmos. So this Brahmos is my online identity,
Okay.
Rohan. So via this Brahmos, I sign ups to OTT platform. I have my accounts everywhere, and this Brahmos account is nowhere connected to anywhere. Neither my bank accounts nor my personal accounts, nowhere. This is a separate identity which I have created of my own to protect myself. So say, for example, if whatever happens, that will happen to Brahmos and not to Prathamesh. So that's how you should implement your security on online platforms. Like, you should always have a separate identity when it comes to this kind of threats, online threats.
Absolutely. One thing which we are going to bring back home from this session is अपनी identity बनाओ, लेकिन वो दूसरों के सामने मत लाओ. That kind of thing is what you need to do. And don't be lazy. I know everyone knows you have a Google account. Okay, I'm an example right now. Don't be lazy. Sign up. It's going to take 2 minutes of your life, not even 2 minutes, honestly. But then that is for security reasons, as we got to know what all happens if you do sign up through Google or some other platform through which we can sign up and then sign in eventually into that OTT platform or other website. So that being said, the last point I want to ask, we did discuss about social engineering as an expertise. So please tell me that how do we detect social engineering in our day-to-day life?
Oh, that's a really good question. And I would like to highlight there are a few ways. So in which you can detect a particular person is performing social engineering on you or not. See, in order to perform social engineering, the person who shall be performing will always have an agenda to
Okay.
come to you. He will always have one agenda, and which you just need to have a vigilant eyes and ears. He will always approach with an agenda. Say, for example, Ekdam simple example. Say for example, now there's this hacker who wants to get connected to you, but rather than getting connected to you, say for example, after this seminar only, whatever right now the talk show, if say for example, if someone wants to know about our friendship, like how it got established and what is the background to it or anything, always look for the agenda. And this is where a unsolicited piece of advice comes into picture. And how to detect is that in your day-to-day life, I'm talking, listen carefully, in your day-to-day life, if you receive any kind of unsolicited piece of information with a propaganda background in any format, be it email, be it text message, be it your direct WhatsApp, or be it anything, always flag a red alert in your mind. And why I'm saying you this is because social engineering is something which a normal human being can also perform with another human being. That does not need to have a platform or a technological knowledge. Say, for example, if someone is going to speak of me, now I'm just giving an example. If someone is going to speak of me to you and he starts using the words, you know something about Prathamesh, flag those entries. You know something about Prathamesh, that implies that the person in front has already a predefined agenda to place in front of you and to convince you with a horse blinding effect. Okay, now listen what I'm going to speak of that particular subject. So that's the red alert where you should start. Okay, this is not a discussion. When someone says ki, "Arey, you want to know something happened about him? Arey, can I talk to you about him or about gossips? Any gossips? Oh, what of that? Any gossips, Rohan, are nothing but a pre-notion defined agenda." And in that case, now talking of how to deal such social engineering attack is simply sit, stay silent, and listen with one ear and throw it out of other ear. If you start engaging, you pass his first line. Then the next line will be, he will start creating an aura around you about that particular thing, situation, or a person. I'm talking in generic social engineering. This is just not defining to your cyber security, but overall your life I'm talking of. So then he will take you to the stage 2, where he will start highlighting only points with or negative points with particular situation, thing, or person, where he will create an agenda and start hammering propaganda on you. And that's where company security, say your professional security, comes into picture. If you are not aware of this social engineering and you eventually are driven by that agenda and you happen to give up and split up information. Say for example, how does these things happen? There are two persons are talking of, say, third person. Now if that third person had done something to both of them, then both of them will start discussing togetherly of that third person. And that's where information exchange comes into picture. And this information exchange, we think that it is just information exchange, but always remember, the person who comes to you and starts with words ki "Arey, do you know something?" This is the first highlighter of social engineering, and you should always be aware. And the only thing is that you need to recognize the pattern when someone is talking with us. You need to understand what the person in front of me wants eventually. You need to understand that. Now there's a separate base only. Say for example, if two people, now example, simple example, now my grandmom and your grandmom, now how we got established, both grandmoms know from past.
Yeah.
And I just happened to came across your profile, and I just told my mom ki Arey mom, he does nice talk shows, so what if I have a word with him? So now this has a predefined past of our parents ki that was a connection. So you need to understand the difference between a connection and a person with a predefined agenda approaching to you, where eventually he will tend to give up a lot of information ki what exactly he wants from you. And that is pure business, Rohan. You need to understand business is pure give and take. So you as a as you progress and march, this give and take always happens in a day-to-day platform, and in that you need to devise yourself in a way where you safeguard yourself. So you have to watch for the parameters, the communication parameters. Now, I asking you, your password won't be strong. Now, what was my prime agenda? To get information about your limited strength, to get information about your limited scope. And that's why I was stressing on, well, then you won't be saving password like 15 characters and all. See, you should understand the small differences. If you would have been little alert, you could have, okay, Baba, okay, not fair enough. But no, you got pulled into that communication. And that's how the social engineering hackers eventually tend to hack your accounts. And this is the this lack of social engineering, this knowledge of social engineering is so new. In fact, there's this new series on Netflix also, how social engineering takes place, calling the adult generation. That the name I forgot. If you might know the name of that Netflix series, where they just call the users कि आपका account balance खत्म हो गया है, हमारे पास ऐसा entry आ गया है, आप हमें OTP दे दो.
No, I didn't come across, but I don't remember the name.
Even I don't remember the name, but there's this series on Amazon, Netflix. There's this series on Netflix, and social engineering and crime are interlinked. And that's how our generation between 30s to 50s are fooled. They tend to call up key, there's a suspicious activity in your account. Your immediate intervention is needed. I'm sending you a link. Can you provide me your mobile number? So that's the first line. Now, if I am a registered customer of your bank, don't you have the KYC of me where you have my mobile number? Why would you again ask me for my mobile number?
Absolutely.
That is the first fact, but not taken into consideration. Why? Because we become paranoid, we become panic. And that's where they start making use of it. Ki, I'll help you out, give me your mobile number. You tend to give out the mobile number. Then I'll give you the link. You just click on that link. You tend to click out on that link. So there are this small identifier where the social engineering hacker will create an environment around you, will create a situation around you, will put you on a hypothetical paranoid state, and at that time what happens is that in that adrenaline rush, we tend to have less rational approach. And that's where psychological attack happens, where your rational quotient decreases and your reaction level increases. And that's where the game is played, in that gap.
Absolutely.
That's how a particular hack occurs. So therefore,
exactly, and that, this can go on and on. There are a lot of things to digest, honestly, Prathamesh, over here, because I'm getting aware, and everyone over here is going to get aware of so many things after what you have told us, that we literally, we want you to give host another session of seminar or webinar on this. I wanted to go on, but unfortunately, we don't have much time on this. And but we definitely love this. I love this seminar, webinar, or what should I say, this session on cybersecurity at the moment, because it gave us not just an insight from a person who has executed hacking services, but also from someone who actually investigates into how people fool people in different patterns on different platforms and in different ways. It can be through paid stuff, it can be through something which is free of cost, or anything else. So I'm sure that most of us have gained slight insight, and we are a little bit more educated, in this area of cybersecurity. Thanks a lot for having us and giving us this information and so much
Thank you
that you
so
have
much,
shared with
Rohan.
us. Thanks a lot. We
Definitely.
definitely will meet soon. We'll have some other topic we'll discuss in more detail after this. Yeah, till then, take care everyone, stay home and stay safe, and I hope you like the video, and do share this video because it's a very crucial topic. Thanks a lot guys, see ya.
Bye.